I'm showing you Lumine Proxy, which is a free web proxy for the latest version of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As you can see, it works with iPhone, Android, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and also PC as well, which is what I'm going to be doing the tutorial on. But just because I'm showing you this on PC does not mean it won't work on, as you can see, literally anything else. So Lumen is a lot like Saber Proxy if you watched my video on that, otherwise it'll be linked down in the description below. But Lumen does actually have a little more customizability, which is nice. Anyways, without getting too far ahead of myself, I'm on their website. It'll be linked in the description. Maybe I already said that, but let's just get started. So we can do that by pressing on this purple get started button, which is like at 3 different points on their website. Anyways, here you do want to create an account real quick. Once you have done that, it'll send you over to your Lumine Proxy portal here, where we can see a nice little checklist for how to get started with this. So first things first, we do want to go ahead and add our Microsoft account. We can do that by getting over to this account section and then clicking on add account. Simply copy the code from here and paste it in this link. Then sign in with your account, wait a few seconds, and as you can see, my account has now been connected. So we can then head over to the dashboard, where we can now click on Start New Proxy. So my account has been added here, which is great. We can select this and head over to the next step. So we can either proxy to a server, a realm, or Nethernet, which will allow you to connect to LAN worlds, I believe. If I'm mistaken, let me know down in the comments. But I'm just going to be using this on a server, as that is probably how most of you guys will use it. But these are definitely options as well. Then let's go ahead and check out our target. So you can choose any server you want here. There is a bunch of ones already. One of the most obvious ones to choose is Lifeboat, but you can also enter your own IP and port in this example little box over here, so you can join literally anything. I will just select Lifeboat for now though, because there is also some special things with Lifeboat, which I'll show a little later. But then we can click on continue over here and the proxy will go ahead and start up. So just wait a few seconds and bam, now as you can see, the proxy is running. We do have a join code over here, which you want to go ahead and copy. There is also a server address, which you want to take note of. Scrolling down a little, there are connection instructions for if you want to read those. Incredibly useful, but I will also show you exactly how to connect right now. Here inside of Minecraft Bedrock Edition, we want to go click on play and then head over to the servers tab. And this is actually what does make Lumine Proxy universal. No matter if you're on Xbox or anything like that, a console like Nintendo, you can always add custom servers. So even if a browser isn't available to you, you could like log into Lumine Proxy on your mom's iPad or whatever, I don't know, and then you can still add this custom server over here. So let's just call this actually Lumine Proxy. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Then for the server address, you want to enter play.lumineproxy.org, just like that, and then you can keep the port as the default. Once you have done that, you can click on add and play, and the server will be added to your list, and you will also directly go ahead and connect to them. Remember this join code that I got here. After the server loads, you will get this little Lumine Proxy pop-up where you need to enter your join code. So I still have this copied to my clipboard like that. If you're on mobile where you can't head out and then go back in, make sure you have this copied to your clipboard before joining. But once you've done that, you can paste it in, go to submit, and you will then be proxied right over to the correct location. Alright, so I have now been connected to Lifeboat with Lumine Proxy enabled, as you can see in the top right hand side of my screen. But it did actually take me 1 or 2 tries to get it to actually work correctly. It kicked me at first, told me I had an inaccurate code. If it does that to you, then try just restarting the proxy completely and then you should be good. Anyways, of course, we want to head into survival mode over here, although I'm not sure how. There we go, and you see in the chat, I just got my first kill, but no, I'm not sure how locked in I'm going to be playing on this server, but I am actually going to show you how to get started with using Lumine Proxy. So basically you use it entirely throughout the chat, so we can open up the chat right over here, and similarly to how you would start normal commands with a slash, for Lumine Proxy, you can use a slash and then a dot, and you guys can already see it over here. We have just basically a preview list of all the commands that Lumine Proxy is going to offer, but It's alphabetically sorted, and we start here at A, and we actually only reach C. I think this just shows how many commands Lumine Proxy offers. It is completely insane. To be fair, it is also a little bit difficult to use because of this, because you have very little oversight over everything it offers, so it may require a little bit of getting used to. But I think we can use a ./help over here, and this is actually going to, well, I guess print page 1 out of 12. So then we can use /.help and then maybe page 2, and we'll get the second page, and then, well, we can continue going through all of that. So now the good thing is you might have already been able to see we do actually have autofill, as in it'll pre-tell you the syntax you need to enter. So say I use /kill aura, it already pops up over there, so I can just press on tab to autocomplete. I can then see everything that I can add here to customize, so I can add my clicks per second, the maximum distance or reach, my aim, is it going to aim for me, yes or no? Will it only be enabled with weapons? Yes or no? And will I also target mobs? Yes or no? Booleans are basically yes or no, true or false values, and floats, well, they're a type of number. So an example input here would be /.killaura 3.67 with a distance of 5. We are going to be aiming. It is only going to be enabled when we have weapons in our hands, and we will not include mobs. Enter that, and bam, it is now being enabled just like that. There is actually someone digging down above me. I'm not, what are you about, good bro? And then we can also just use /.killaura like that, and then it is going to disable again. So running these commands once will toggle them. So this guy was getting in my way, man. I had to kill him. Let's round this off before I get ambushed again. But basically, as you can see through here, it is incredibly easy to use. I just had one example, but almost all of the commands are going to work in the exact same way. As you can see, using the help command, or also just looking at this autocomplete here, is going to give you a description of exactly what the commands do as well, if you're wondering as to that. I swear to God, man, it's always night when I join these servers. Anyways, luckily Lumen actually has Fulbright, so I can see everything properly now. Anyways, one other really useful command is going to be /.config. This is going to allow you to, well, enable a config. So as you can see, there is one for Lifeboat Skywars and 2 for Lifeboat Survival Mode. So you can, for example, go LBSM here. There we go, and now we have actually enabled that config, which is fantastic. Of course, all the actual modules are still disabled, but we can simply toggle them by running these commands over here. So that is basically how we want to do that. If you have any questions or stuff like that, do of course feel free to leave those down in the comments below. But for right now, thank you all ever so much for watching, and I do of course hope to see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.